All right, all right. Hope everyone is doing well this evening. It's Friday evening. Let me mic check, make sure everything is the way it should be. Okay, we are good to go. All right, so with this particular show tonight, you all, I decided that I'm going to do something a little bit different uh, because it seemed to me like the show that we had last Friday became just a little bit heated. And so, what I'm going to do this particular show is I'm going to let the brothers come in as they may, and they can weigh in on the subjects that we'll be discussing. If you get tired of me talking, then hey, I switch over and watch something more entertaining. But tonight, I intend to have some conversations that most people wouldn't dare to have. We're going to talk about some things tonight. That's okay with you. All right. So now, one of the things that I put on my Facebook page is we're going to be discussing the role of a husband and a father. So now, why did I put that in that particular order? A husband and a father. Well, quite frankly, in our particular community, it seems that being a father or having children is the easy part. Being a father, not so much. And being a husband sometimes is out of the question. So why is that? Is there any value in either one of those roles? Is there any value in being a husband? Is there any value in being a father? Well, as we talked to the ladies last week, we continue to cite that statistic that 80% of the families that are raised or that exist, I should say, in the African American community are single parent families, mostly single mothers that are raising their children. So right off the bat, we can see that there is quite a bit of confusion as to whether or not this role or these two roles are valuable. So I want you to think for a moment. In the natural world, in the animal kingdom, in most groups of animals, you see male and you see female. And those groups interact together to produce cubs. And then those cubs grow up to do the same exact thing. But now for us as humans, it's a little bit more complex. I'll tell you why. Because we are individuals who operate on a higher level as far as our thinking is concerned. And so as humans, we have designed for ourselves something called society, right? Now, society is a complex set of rules that govern the way that we interact with each other, the way I interact with you, the way you interact with me. But now, for the life of me, I can't understand how it is that 80% of those families that are being raised by single parents, how is that acceptable in society or in our particular community, I should say? Because now think about this. In any other community, do you see a situation where there is an absence of a father, an absence of a husband? So we have to tackle that. We tackled it with the ladies last Friday, I should say. And we're going to do our best tonight to try to put a little heat up under the men if we can. I'm all about balance. I'm all about being fair. So I'm not going to say anything to the ladies that I wouldn't say to the men. And as I mentioned, we'll let the brothers come in as they might. We have a couple of guests lined up. They'll be here presently. But before they come, I want to take a moment because I think that really in our community, there is, without a doubt, a lack of leadership. Now, there's a lack of leadership in every community, but especially in ours. And it manifests itself in who is raising our children. So here's the thing. Why is this so important for us? Because now, as we mentioned, the situation is one where you have a society of people, right? And there are rules that govern the way we interact. We said that just a few minutes ago. So now tell me, as far as men are concerned, who passes those rules on to the men in the community? If you have a small son, is it the woman's responsibility to pass on what's expected of a man to her son? Is she even capable of doing that? So clearly the answer must be that the father has to pass on what's expected of a man to his son. He has to teach him. He has to inculcate into him what that really means. Now, a lot of times I ignore the plight of the daughter in this particular instance because what I'm seeing firsthand is that a lot of our young brothers, they are very emotional. They are resorting to violence, to killing each other because they have no leadership, they have no guidance, they have no principles to stand on. And so when things happen that are out of their control, they react with emotion instead of with logic, with thinking ability. So that's something that we have to address, because if we don't bring young men to the point where they understand what's expected of them, then can we really be upset with the role that they play in society? They hadn't had anyone to show them. So now what I'm saying is that 80%, those single mothers, we don't listen. I'm not pointing the finger at anybody, but what I am saying is this: for those 80% of single mothers that's raising all of the children in the African American community, that has to change, and that has to change because we're having a deficit as far as young men. When you look at young boys, as far as the statistics are concerned, we're at the bottom. Young boys are at the bottom. When it comes to reading, when it comes to mathematics, when it comes to anything that has to do with schooling, we are at the bottom. And why is that? Because as I mentioned, the structure that should exist is not there. It's missing. And so I think it's necessary that we talk about a few things. I think it's necessary that we see what kind of value a husband and a father can bring to a family. All right. First thing. Now, this is going to be, this might rub a couple people the wrong way, but we're going to go in here, okay? What should you look for when you're looking for a wife? Now, that question in particular usually is answered by a few things. One of the things is natural attraction. Yes, that comes into play. But what really should be focused on after natural attraction is whether or not her goals line up with your goals. Do you have the same mindset, the same pattern of thinking? Because what happens is, as you all grow old together, things in your life might change. And so as things change, your thinking may change, right? But if you all have been on the same page from the beginning, then when those changes occur, y'all can adapt. And then another thing, I think, one of the things that is important for choosing a wife is whether or not through your involvement with this particular lady, do you see yourself having a future with her? And so if you don't see yourself having a future with her, then why would you allow yourself to produce a child from that particular interaction? Why would you allow yourself to get this woman pregnant and you know that your intention is not to have a family with her? Your intention is not to be there to raise this child like you know you should. Why would you do that? So it has to be a situation where both are coming into this particular environment with good faith. As a man, I'm coming in to get to know this woman, to build a future with her. And as a woman, she's coming in to do the same, to see if she can build a future. And so that's necessary, I think. Because if you're not going to build a future with each other, what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of it? Why would that even be the case? Why would I want to engage in anything that does not help me go further into the future? See, as we mentioned now, you know about positivity, but I have to be honest. You're bringing a child into this world and you're lessening the chances for that child to be successful. You're lessening the chances because the mother and the father were not deliberate in their thinking. They weren't looking at things the way that they should have, and it's showing. So if you know that that's what you want to do, you know you want to have a family, you know you want to be a father, then you need to align yourself with women that want the same thing. I want to play a little excerpt from last week for you because it kind of caught me off guard, the reaction that I got, but I want you to see it. Let's see if we can get that excerpt up. And to all my ladies, my sisters, allow time to see that particular individual in different circumstances. Allow time. Okay. And then I know this is not going to be popular with the brothers, but I got to put this in here. If the man is not serious, if he's not going to give you his last name, take sex off the table. When you take sex off the table, I guarantee you he'll show himself to be whatever he is. Either he's there for the long haul or he's just there for some momentary satisfaction. And I know that doesn't sit right with you all either. But here's the thing. In this particular instance, we want to know who this guy is. Who is he? What is he there for? And if you remove that particular option, if you take that off the table, if you make it known in the beginning that your intention is to have a family and to be married and to be a wife, then either he's going to take you up on that offer or he's going to get out of the way real fast. That's what I. Okay. So now, with that particular thought, I want you to think about something. I want you to mull over in your mind what I just said. And I'm going to clarify it because I want to be absolutely clear. I'm not coming at this situation from a biblical standpoint. I'm not coming at it from a religious standpoint, even though in this particular instance, the two largest religions in the world, Christianity and Islam, both speak against sex before marriage. But that's not what we're focusing on tonight. What I want you to focus on is the practicality of what I just said. Say, for instance, in this particular situation, you have a brother who is saying that he's wanting to reach out and go further in life. There are certain goals that he has set for himself. There are certain things that he wants to accomplish. And let's say, for instance, there is a sister who has said the same thing. There are particular goals in her life that she wants to accomplish. She wants to go further. But now, in the interaction between the two, because they chose to do something outside of what was most practical, then they end up with a child. And that child, regardless of what anyone says, it severely limits what you can do until after the child has been raised successfully. When the child is an adult and goes away to college or moves out, then you can get back on what it is that you are trying to do. But it's very, very difficult to raise a child and at the same time continue to pursue the goals that you have. So that's why a lot of people, they postpone having children until they have set up goals for themselves. So now, what I'm proposing is that if there are things in your life that you want to accomplish, if there are things that you know you want to have, then take precautions. And the best precaution is just to take sex off the table. I know that's not something that rings true with a lot of you. I know it's not. And I know it's a lot of people that's not going to agree with that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay that you don't agree. But you can't get anybody pregnant if you're not having sex. You don't have to carry a child 9 months if you're not having sex. You don't have to worry about the emotional attachment that's formed during intercourse if you're not having sex. So what we're talking about is not biblical, it's practical. Even though it comes from something that's based biblically, it's practical because if that's not on the table, then there's never any fear, worry, or anxiety about whether or not this particular interaction is going to lead to me having a child. There's no worry of whether or not this particular interaction will be the time when she tells me she's pregnant. You don't have to worry about those things. And so that's what I was suggesting. The most practical thing that you could do. It's the wisest thing that you could do. Because what you do is you take control over a situation that could possibly cause harm to you or to the woman that's involved, and especially to that child. It's going to cause some difficulty to that child, whether you believe it or not. It's going to do that. So I just wanted to share those particular thoughts. We got one of my guests that have arrived. He's sitting and waiting. I want to get him in to see some of his thoughts on the subject. Okay? So let's get him in here. Cuz, what's going on, man?
Oh, man, what's going on? What's happening?
Oh, man, nothing much. Look, I promised the audience that tonight's show was going to be rather spirited, man, and I got the right man, I think. I got the right man for the job. So now look, let me just pose the question to you. If you were looking for a wife, kinfolk, tell me, what would you be looking for? What qualities do you think?
Oh, man, it'll be the education, the values. Also, what are you bringing to the table? Because those are important things. And then you got to look at the side of things, too, because 9 out of 10, what I'm running into right now is women that got kids seems to think that, you know, I have to accept you and your kids. And I'm like, no. I'm like, you basically, they're forcing you to be a stepfather when you don't have to, because I'm raising somebody else's kids and I don't know what I'm putting myself into. And at the same time, I would like to start off fresh, to have a woman that don't have kids.
Okay, cuz, now tell me why that's so important to you. Now, I understand the premise of not wanting to be responsible for another man's seed, but walk me through why that's so important to you. Why is it so important that you have your own family, your own seed, and that's how you start? Tell me why that's so important.
Because the reason why it's important, because I want to be able to create a legacy with a woman. So by her already having kids by some other guy, or could be guys, it's pretty much like, it's like, I will put I don't know how to put it, but it sounds like to me like I'm raising somebody else's legacy. And I don't know what those kids are going through or what she has been through, but society is pushing the man to accept that. And on the other side of things, society is telling women, oh, well, you can do anything you want to do without no precautions. And that's why I was saying, because I don't know what I'm getting myself into. Let's say, for example, you accept this one with all these kids, but she got these high standards already, saying what your expectations are. That is, to me, that is wrong. In that case, I should have higher expectations that should be coming from you as well, because I'm running to, well, it's a financial situation where kids are expensive, especially raising somebody else's kids. And then now you tell me that I got to do for you and your kids, and you still ain't bringing something to the table? No, I'm sorry, no. And that's just my opinion on things. I don't know about everybody else, but if it comes down to that, the woman should have some expectations of herself. It should not be no higher standards of me, what I got to bring to the table, and you ain't really bringing nothing to the table but a burden.
Well, look, cuz I have to absolutely agree with that statement that you made about raising children is expensive, because now, according to the U.S. Census Bureau, right?
Yeah.
The estimate is $250,000 a child for the lifetime of a child. So from age 0 to 18, you have spent $250,000 invested on that particular child. But now, just to put things into perspective, now we're not picking on anybody. We're not, because you can want what you want, right? I respect the fact that this is what you want, but now here's the thing: is what you want reasonable? So now, the individual that you had this child by, right? That guy's no longer in the picture. She comes across a studious gentleman, a gentleman with good manners like yourself, and she says, okay, this looks like this would be a good man, right? This looks like someone that I could see a future with. But then, as you mentioned, she has children. Let's say she has 2. So what you're asking this particular gentleman who's coming into your life and the life of your children, on average, as an estimate, since it's 2 children, you're asking this man to invest $500,000 in y'all. Not to mention what he's going to have to spend in regards to his wife, but the children alone, you're asking him without a college fund or anything, you're asking this man to come up with $500,000. Does that sound reasonable to you, Cole? I'm just asking.
No, it does not. And you know what I mean? Now who to say she might not even settle for you, because now she's looking at the fact that you don't have this kind of edge to yourself as a guy, because mostly, like, this is what I have seen so far. Some of these women, they go for the guys with the edge or dudes from the streets. And I come along now, I get the last pick. And what I mean by that, that means that I am last. But the street guy, he's first. He gets whatever he wants to do with you, but then now he ain't got to have no standards. He ain't got to have no obligations. He ain't got to have all these things what you tell me what I should have. And that is what's going on right now. It's backwards. I'm like, how we are doing things right now in our community for my women, you're doing it backwards. If you want to reproduce with the good guys that has education, has things in order, has, you know, all these goals and dreams. He already accomplished that. And that's the thing that women should be looking for. Not looking for an image, not looking for, oh, I got a wallet full of cash, or I got the quick cash. That's what I'm seeing so far. So that's what I mean. That I am last. I'm your last resort when this dude on the streets get first dibs. He gets to have kids by you, or other guys get to, like, it's multiple guys, and then all of a sudden now I'm just like, so now you want to settle with me, and you tell me this your story what this dude treated you wrong. He done put you through a whole bunch of stuff. He put his hands on you. He done did all these things, and now the cops is called, and now there's a record there, and the kids are suffering, and she's damaged. So now I got to go back and clean up everything what these guys have done. That's not fair to me. But sometimes love it makes you go through these things to help a person, because you're feeling sad for them and you care about them and those kids. But at the same time, in the back of her mind, she's still thinking that you don't have what it takes, or you got to have these steps to take to meet her standards. And that's not right. At this case, you got kids, you ain't got no standards. Your standards is out the window. So if a man comes into the picture to help you to rebuild your life and your kids, that's a godsend. Because you're not gonna see all that. That's a rare, and when you do see it, it's like a needle in a haystack. And that's what society is pushing. The system that we're in is called the feminist movement, and also the Me Too movement, which is destroying the women and telling them that, oh, No, you don't need that. You don't need this. But yet, these women that's fighting these movements, they going home to a husband. They going home to raise their kids, using you in a process. To go home to fight with your man or to go fight with the dude that's doing something for you that's good. That's the whole agenda that they're pushing. And it's sad to say this, but the guys who has the money that's doing the right things, they getting held up. They've been held for ransom by random things what these women are doing. That's like, for example, I'm dating this woman. She got 3 kids. All of a sudden, my company or my business just jumped off. Now I'm successful. Now it comes to a point I come home and catch up with another a street dude. And then all of a sudden, now this is going to turn into a headache because now she's going to take me to court and think that I owe her something. So now she suing me for abuse or incorrect, what's called, I can't think of the word, but
irreconcilable differences.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
She's doing that to me. So now the sister gonna tell me, well, Calvin, you got to pay her this kind of money. That's extortion. Off the bat, that's extortion. That means I'm paying you to your living adjustment when you didn't help me build this company. You came into the picture, I already got kids. All these things is set up for the walking wallet of a man. Nothing else. Ain't nothing. It's just there to hurt your pockets. And now you got to take care of a kid that's not yours. Or multiple kids that's not yours. While she's still out here running around with the street guys.
Well, I'll tell you something. Cuz. Just speaking from personal experience, it is a monster. It's a difficulty doing that, man. I had 2 sons that I raised that weren't mine. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about that. At a young age, man, I entered into marriage, and my hope was that because of the type of person that I was, that things were going to work out the way that they should. You know me, because I always been hard working. I'm a straight shooter, and so that's what my intent was. My intent was to raise those 2 boys into men that I could be proud of, right? For the most part, it worked. But I'm gonna tell you something. Was it the hardest thing I've ever done in my life? Absolutely. Because I'm gonna tell you something that you can't do as a stepfather, because that's what you are as a stepfather. You cannot discipline those children the way that you would discipline one that belonged to you.
Yep.
You can't do it. And in order for the household to run the way that it should, you have to be able to discipline. You have to. Because here's the thing. If you are taking the household in one direction and there are children in the household that you can't correct them. You can't put them back on task. Then the whole household eventually goes into chaos. So now I'm with you, but now I'll tell you something. One thing that I've noticed, because I have a lot of mentors, older mentors who have successfully raised bonus children. I'll tell you what one of them told me. He said that, well, I tell you what one of the women told me, one of the wives told me. She said that she was at work and she had, just like me, she had a twin set of boys, right? She had 2 boys. And she was at work and she heard that one of the boys had got out of line with her husband. She said she walked up to her supervisor. She said, I'll be right back. Give me 30 minutes. She went home. When she found that boy, her husband had to pull her off of him. She said she beat that boy until she was out of breath. And when she got through beating him, she stood him up in front of her husband and she said, I'm going to tell you something. This is the man who raised you. This is the man who worked hard to put food in your mouth, clothes on your back, and a place for you to stay. If you ever disrespect him again, you're going to get the same thing. And guess what happened after that?
What happened?
He didn't ever get out of line again. And even to this day, man, him and his dad has the best relationship ever. See, that's what you need. If it's gonna be a situation where there is bonus children involved, then mom and dad have to be a united front. I'm not saying that it's something that can't be done, but what I am saying is it's difficult. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's a situation where what you're doing is essentially you gambling.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You don't know. But the fact of the matter is, this is a $250,000 investment. $250,000. You got that kind of money to gamble with? Hats off to you. I ain't got that kind of money no more. I just don't. So I can understand where you're coming from, cuz. I can understand. Now, let's go to the next question, man. Next question. We're gonna keep rolling because the conversation is good. It's gonna be some folk mad at us tonight. But see, we got to speak on these things because what's happening is I'm noticing because of that. What happens a lot of times is that women tell us what we should be doing. Women are describing to men what a real man is, instead of having a man dictate what a real man is. See, as men, we know what it takes, right?
Yep.
We've been through the fire. We know what it takes to get through that fire and to keep going. So now, I'm just that's basically what the show is about tonight. We got to set some things straight. We got to. So now look, let's go to the next question. So now why do that? We already talked about the state of what women have been told, what they think, what they believe. We talked about how, as you mentioned, Kelvin, that there are numerous women and they have children already by another partner, but this is what they're looking for. Are they looking for an individual who is a good husband, or are they looking for both a husband and a father? What do you think?
They're looking for both.
Okay. Why you say that?
The reason why I say that, because you can see how the woman, she doesn't understand what a man is. Only thing she know what a man is what she see on TV, or what she picture, what she sees in imagination of thought, because it's only there to use you. It's all illusion. And that's why I keep telling people the world is right now is based off illusion, and it's like the interpretation of a mindset. It's just like you flipping a remote control. You're looking for a selective item on that TV. What you find, what you might like, they settle for that. Because now for a man, we got to sit there. We got to flip through the channel multiple times to figure out what we need, what we're looking for. And most of the time, it's there to benefit them, not you. And what I mean by that is that they're looking for the stepdaddy figure. They're also looking for to take care of me figure. They're also looking for if you're going to take care of all us figure, and that whole setup is a whole package. And what you get out of that package is not what you're looking for. But for what she's looking for, it's all about her and them kids. Let's say, for example, something doesn't go right. One little bitty thing, a little step out of line, what's she going to tell you? What is she going to tell you? I can go find it from somebody else.
Wow.
So, and that's what I mean by those two figures, a husband and a father. Or you are the side dude. Now she's messing with another guy. And that's something you don't want, because now you trying to invest into this one with the kids by the other guys, and you don't know she could be still messing with the first kid's father, or the dude gets out of jail. Now you got to deal with this guy or a confrontation, and she'll sit there and she'll watch it unfold. That's the stuff that we're dealing with today. Look how many guys that went to jail or went to hell those two things, man. We fighting over something that ain't worth it, or we're ended up in positions to break your pockets. But at the end of the day, those kids, they still need a father. They still, they still need leadership. They still need education. They still need all of these things, but the woman don't really see that because her mind is just focused on what can she get out of you. And the list just goes on, man, because up here, they talking about passing an extra stimulus check, bruh, for women that, they got kids, multiple kids, $3,600 per kid. So she got 5 kids, do the math. So they telling her that you don't need a man. We can give you this money so we can cause more problems in our community. But our women don't see this. It's a setup for failure.
Well, look, let me throw something at you. You got, and I want you to hear this statistic, man, because it blew my mind. In 2018, in the remember I told you that all this information is coming from the U.S. Census Bureau, right?
Yep.
In 2018, they took a poll. 52% of the available black men in our community have never been married. So now that just goes to show you what you said is on the minds of other men, just like it's on our mind. Never been married, man. Never been married. And then 33% are currently married. But 52%, more than half of us walking around, have never been married. Why is there such a fear of being a husband? Hold on one second, Kinfolk. Let me bring in team. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
You good, brother?
Yes, sir. How about y'all?
Man, I can't complain. Look, we getting to it, man. We getting to it. I don't know if you heard that.
To answer your question, men are naturally meant to be polygamous. That's to answer your question. Men are natural. That's natural polygamy. Men are. That's it. That's the answer to your question. Because a man can sleep with 100 women and not feel one feeling for one of them. Women don't do this. Some do, but for majority of the majority of the female population doesn't act on it.
So, but now here's the question, Chop. Here's the question. Just to sum up some of the things that me and Kevin were just talking about.
Okay.
For when you're in the dating field, man, I ain't been in there in a long time. You ain't either, so we ain't gonna play, right?
Yeah.
We ain't gonna play about it, but we just gonna be honest. In the dating market, man, if 80% of the children that come up in our community are raised by a single mother, that means that when you go to date, you're gonna run into some single mothers.
A lot of them.
Right?
A lot
of them. And then, according to the U.S. Census Bureau 2018 report, right? The estimate from 0 to 18, you have invested $250,000 in this child.
Minimum.
Because see, we ain't talking about college education, right?
We ain't talking about all that, right?
We not talking about a situation where there is, maybe private schools involved and a certain standard of life. We talking about just maintenance, right?
Just maintenance, right, correct.
So if you got to make that big of a investment, what is the value of being a husband? And I don't mean I mean being a husband in those circumstances.
You can't put a value on it. You can't put a value on that.
Okay.
If you're going, what I said, you can't put a value on that because if a child does have a father, husband figure in the house, they've already surpassed 75% of the population, or 50% of the population of families. A lot of children are growing up without fathers because the choice, when a woman finds a man and finds a husband, she's looking for. Men a lot of times not even look for a situation where they want to be a father. It's only a select few and a select handful of guys that actually want to step up and be a father. Now I could be a baby dad all day long. You know, I'd be cool being a baby dad because I'm a baby dad. I already got the name. I mean, when she met me, I was already out here being a baby dad. So I might as well just stay being a baby dad. But to be a father and to be a husband, that's a whole different ball game because it ain't fit for everybody. Everybody's not meant to be married. Marriage is not for everybody. And I had to learn that. And I tell that to people I talk to that's married on that basis. And I tell people, if you got up there and you told God that you was gonna love this woman to death, do you part this sickness and health and all the above, that's the covenant you took before God. Everybody don't believe that covenant. Now a lot of people just doing it for show. This is my second and last marriage I'm on, man. I don't plan on being married no more, brother. I ain't gonna even lie. But at one point I was like, I ain't get married no more. Before I got married again, I was like, I ain't doing it no more. Like I done been through it. I graduated, got a t-shirt and all. I said, man, if it God say, then I do. But if not, my plan was to never get married again. I was gonna be out here, be a baby dad. And I was just, but that one was the plan that God had for me.
Right.
Circumstances. God put you through tests and trials and situations. He placed them in your life for a reason. Everything that we do is not, just a coincidence. It's all part of the plan.
But now look, let me ask you something.
Let
me get at you, Chop. I don't mean to cut you off, brother, but now
go ahead.
Tell me, what did you look for then? If there were one quality that you could pick out, what is the one quality that made you see the person you marry as your future?
I'm looking for a companion. I wanted somebody that was going at the end of the day, good or bad, I can still look over and say I love you. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for somebody that had my back and I had theirs. Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes sense to me, brother. That makes sense to me. Because here's the thing. And we were talking about it in the prologue to the show. If you have a situation where there is an individual who you're looking at or who you are dating, let's say, and you cannot see this person in your future, why would you continue in that relationship to the point where y'all have a child? You can't see yourself with that person in the future.
Yeah, my bad, priest. I ain't hear nothing you said, man. When you get on here, people start calling you. Ain't nobody calling me all day. Now they want to call.
They do that, brother. They do that. But now what I was saying, Chop, well, okay, so you got a man and a woman in a relationship, right? And
right.
The man, let's put it on us, because we it's all brothers tonight. This is our show. So the man is looking at this woman and he's saying to himself, No, I ain't gonna go too far with her. I ain't gonna go too far with her at all. I don't think this is gonna be something I can see myself being in the future. Then why allow yourself to have a child with this woman?
Hey, we all settle. When we get comfortable, we settle. I ain't gonna even lie, we settle. When we get comfortable, we settle.
But now, Chop, you don't think that caused damage though?
Yeah, it caused a lot of damage. That's how people get up in shit. That's how tires get flattened. That's how women get busted. That's how all that. You can't string any when emotions are involved, man. That could be deadly.
Okay.
Yeah,
because you don't know how far somebody love run deep.
That's true. All right, so now look, let's get on to this next question. I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. Cause look, I'm just happy that y'all here with me on this Friday. I thought I'm gonna have to do this thing by myself. You know I'm long-winded, but I ain't that long-winded. I can't go that long. I can't go that long, Chop. You know I can't do it, man. I'm glad y'all tagged in. I need y'all. Okay, so now let's go to the next question. So we talked about that. What's to being a father? I mean, to what's being a husband. What about a father? What about a father? Now notice. Now I want y'all to notice something. Chop kind of touched on it. Chop said it's okay in our community to be a baby dad. Okay, I'm a baby dad. That's fine. They're my baby mama. That's my baby mama. She's my baby mama too, right? But now,
right.
What is the value? What do you get from being a father?
Man, it's priceless. I tell you, like I said again, my bad. I don't mean to cut you out, but it's priceless. You know, just seeing your fruit of your loins growing up, progressing. Man, when my first time I seen my daughter tie her shoe, man, I was so excited. Like I had won the Super Bowl. Like, you know, small steps, like as far as like getting up, grooming themselves, uh, cleaning up behind themselves, even blowing their nose by themselves, man. It's like the small stuff. It's like you ain't gonna get that nowhere. Even down to the first steps, like people want to experience it. Like you gotta be there. Like you hate when you miss a moment when stuff like that happen because you know you try to be there for everything, but being a father and a provider, some stuff you gonna miss, even though you
Right.
don't want to, you gonna miss it.
Now, Dean, tell me something, man. Weigh in on this. Do you think there's any advantage to being a father as opposed to a baby daddy? What you think?
A father versus a baby daddy. A baby
Yeah.
daddy basically is just a filling the gaps for a wallet, bro. Your walking wallet.
Okay.
And being a father, you're actually being there, and the woman is committed to help you to raise that child. Now, baby daddy is basically saying that you're a daddy to that child, and then there's another dude is a daddy to another child. So now that becomes a problem. And that's the same thing what I'm saying. But the system forces us to be a father, but they don't force the women to be a mother. Nobody sees this but me. You know, I see it every day. So how do I have to pay child support? I got 50-50 joint custody, physically, and I still pay child support, but the system still tells her, no, keep that child away from that guy. But now she has other kids by other dudes. They don't pay child support. Something wrong with that situation. And I'm throwing this out there to show y'all what the system is doing. And we doing it to ourselves. So to be a baby daddy is an embarrassment, dog. It's an embarrassment. For when I hear a guy say something about a baby daddy, that's an embarrassment because now your kid is out there around these other kids that probably not even see a father or husband that she's with in a lifetime. So the sister's still feeding her. You don't need these guys. We're gonna keep giving you money, so you keep producing. And now you putting these kids in these households, and now these households is ran poorly. So now your kid is stuck with a mentality. It's okay to settle for less. It's okay to not have a credit score, don't know what that is. It's okay to not know what a good higher paying job is. It's okay to know that investments, you don't need to know what that's about. But they tell your kid, you are accepted in these public schools that teaches you garbage, teaches you false history, teaches you how to be a victim mentality of things that's occurring to this day when you got to answer for it. Because God only can do so much, bro. He only can do so much, but he also show you where you need to go or where you need to be. Because that kid going to come back and ask you these questions. Where have you been? What can you tell that child? Well, son, I paid my child support. I paid my dues. That's not good enough. But now the woman going to hold that over his head to manipulate, to say, I'm the enemy. She the good guy. The liberal system is the good guy. They can go home to their kids and raise their kids together jointly. For us, we go home in pieces. So now we got to continue over the 18 years to pick up a whole shovel full of pieces. You try to put all that together, and it's too late.
Well, look,
that's what I mean by baby daddies, because baby daddies is multiple dudes. And if she's like that, she's broken, dog. She's broken. Yeah.
So now, I want y'all to pay attention to, and Dean, I see where you're coming from, brother. I do, but I want y'all to pay attention to the way I framed the name of the show: a husband and a father. Because now, it would be advantageous that you be both. That's what we need in our community. We need you to be both. We ain't pushing nothing on nobody, but that's what we need. Because listen, in amongst all of the things that you said, Dean, and like I said, you right on the money. But in amongst all the things that you said, the thing that will correct the majority of the problem that you listed is if the man, the head who is supposed to be the head of the household, if he showed what the proper order was. So I'm married to your mama. We have a wonderful relationship. We had you. We love you. This is how it's supposed to look. This is how it's supposed to look. Because now here, think about this. Especially now, like I mentioned in the beginning of the show, especially for a young man. There are certain things that is going to be required of that young man when he grows up, right?
Yep.
Who better to teach him that than his father? Who better to stand there and say, okay, look, man, this is the way this goes, this is the way this goes. And so what he's doing is he's setting up structure. He's setting up structure. Now he's setting up structure for his son and his daughter, regardless of which one you have, but especially for the boy, because he knows what it is to grow up from a boy to become a man. He knows what that is. He's done it. And so as he's setting up structure for his son, he's showing his son through example what he should do. And if he's showing his son what he should do through example, his son can look at the end result and say, this is the way my daddy did it. Either I'm going to follow it completely, or there are going to be a couple of things that I kind of switch out. But for the majority of what he taught me, I can use it. See, if we had that in the community, you wouldn't have to worry about who was paying the mother, who was giving the child support, or how much food stamps she was getting, what place she was staying in that's low income. We wouldn't have to worry about any of that because everything would be in its proper order. And that's why I said a husband and a father. Both of those roles. See, we missing that in our community. We missing it. Because if 80% of the families is single mothers stepping in there and filling both roles, we missing some things. But go ahead, I hear you. Go on.
Yes, we are. But who initiate these divorces and separation?
Good point. Good point. 70% in our community, 70%. They walking off. They getting they getting their overnight bags, they getting their luggages, they getting the furniture, the beds that y'all slept in together, and they piecing out. They shooting the deuces at you real fast, right? Right? So that's the thing.
Hey, pre. They already have somewhere to stay before they tell you. They already have somewhere lined up for you. They release. For real.
So now, like I said,
been that got t-shirt get
and the hat, chop, and the bumper sticker going back of the truck.
Yeah. Yeah.
So dude, got it, brother. I hear you. So it's a difficulty if somebody said what is the advantage of being a husband and a father, right? It's difficult for us to come up with anything positive, even though there are things that are there now. It's difficult for us to come up with things that are positive because of all of the negativity that you see on a day-to-day basis. But now, all right, so we touched on that. We finna hit something real hard now. Y'all stay with me, okay? Don't sign off. Dean, don't leave, man. All right?
I got
you. Here's the next topic. Do we have that? As men, do you think we have
do talking about right now the current situation that we in? Do we have it?
The current situation that we in? Do we have this?
You talking about what just popped up on my screen?
Yeah, I'm talking about what just popped up on your screen.
Nope, we do not.
Nah.
What you mean?
Nah.
What you mean? No. What you mean? No, child.
What I hit on earlier, men are not the male species.
Okay.
Is not meant to be monogamous.
Okay.
Out of all the species of mammals and animals in the world, humans are the only one that practice monogamy. They're the only species. Men, by nature, are not meant to be okay with just having one. I don't care how long they've been together, or how long they say they've been together. Somewhere while they've been together, there's been some ups and downs, times that they ain't gonna talk about, that they ain't gonna care to talk about. But it ain't your business to know what they gonna talk about, what they even think they even know. But my thing is, no, it's hard. It's hard because if you somewhere and you cut your eye the wrong way, there's breaking it. There's breaking this, because if you cut your eye a certain way, in the back of your mind, you're like, whoa, you thinking like, whoa,
right?
He think about it Nah, man. hey, the only time I would say the only time you had it is when you sleep, but that ain't even true, because you have thoughts running through your mind when you sleep that you shouldn't have.
Right. But now let me ask you something, Chop. Now let's bring it. Let's zero in on it just a little bit more, okay? So if you're gonna be a husband, right?
Right.
What sexual discipline do you have to be a husband, if any?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience. Yeah, patience. Maybe a little understanding, but patience.
Okay. Now tell me why. Tell me what you mean.
Because your spouse is a human being just like you. She has feelings, she has urges, she has desires. She may not be feeling the same thing you feeling every time you feel it. But at the same time, you already knew how this was and how I was, and you knew what I was about, and you knew how I got there. So, I want you to still continue to match that energy well up to marriage. So I'm like, nah, maybe let me slow down and let me, take some time. But, us as men get to a point where we don't like, well, I want it when I want it, how I want it. So, I want it.
Okay. Now, I totally understand where you're coming from, and patience and understanding is key. It is, because, like you said, they get tired. They sometimes they come in hard day, headache most of the time. But I ain't gonna go into that. I'm gonna leave that alone. But now, as far as sexual discipline, let me ask this question, because we've chosen in this particular discourse to focus on one role in particular, that of being a husband. Does it take sexual discipline to stay within your marriage or within your relationship that you have?
Yes.
Why?
Because
I know that's obvious. Go ahead and take a whack at it.
Because you faced with so many obstacles on a daily basis, just anywhere you go. It just is, especially if you're an attractive young man or a healthy young man, you're gonna get advances. It don't matter if you're married or not. People don't care no more. So, I mean, it takes discipline not to act on impulse.
Okay. Okay, Chop. Chop, have you been watching my shows, man? Listen, that is one of the things that I highlighted on one of my shows. Impulse. That's what get us in trouble,
really?
man.
Yeah.
He get us something hit you, man, and next thing you know, you done did the deed. You know?
Yeah, that's it. Hey, you looking for the next time.
And so, like you said, it takes a certain amount of discipline, a certain amount of self-control to say, okay, this is the situation that I agreed to. I'm going to do my best within it to stay true to what I agreed to. So now, Dean, let me ask you a question. Right. You just heard what Chop said, right?
Yeah.
Chop made a very good point. Now he been hitting home runs tonight. I don't know what that is he got in the cup, but you know we're gonna leave him alone about that. So look, tell me, you strong, Chop. Look, so that you got Chop, he already told you, man. You know, Dean, what do you think as an individual? You're looking at the role of being a husband and entering into it. Do you think there would be a certain amount of difficulty involved with being faithful? You think so?
No.
Okay. Tell me why.
Because the reason why I say this, that, you know, if you're married, you should be committed to each other. There should be some things that just always been established. But if you're trying to go outside of those established things that you guys are committed to, that means who are committed to adultery. There's got to be some things are missing in that marriage, or it could be an issue down the road because now you don't know who's cheating on who, and now that leads to more problems. But in situations, if two people are really in love with each other, because marriage is a realistic thing and it's a challenge, because you're gonna see temptation. You're going to see all these things that are going to come about, because that's right now you're looking at the age of greed and jealousy and envy. All these things are the above, because like she might go back and tell her friends some things she should not be telling her friends. Now her friends going to come to you with all kinds of flirtatious activities that you never seen before. And that's why I say it's best to keep your business at home.
It happens.
Keep it amongst each other. And that's the problem that we're having these days. It's just like saying, I made 6 figures. I'm making all this money. Now she go back and tell her friend, oh, my husband make this. My husband satisfied me, because now this lady is going to say in her head, oh, wow. So if her husband making this, maybe I can take her husband away from her. Or it could be the other way around, where she can divide both of y'all. Now she want to know, can she get a piece of the pie too? And that can be a problem. That's what I mean by those things, because sexual discipline has to be there if you're married. But if you guys are not committed, you need to go your separate ways. Because not only that, not like I just said, you setting yourself up. And you can go tell your homeboy, and your homeboy can be jealous of you too, of what you got. Because, like I said, in these days and time, these young boys are not raised by men. They're raised by women. And what do women do? They make them get into their feelings and their emotions. So that trickles down the road. So you got men that acting like women, misbehaving like women, and treating the women like the women how they treat the real guy in the real world. I'm telling you, man, I'm seeing this firsthand of what's going on. It ain't going to be too long to where you see where the dudes is acting like the women, because you got, like I said, it's a man and a woman in the household. There is no such thing as 2 men and 2 women in the household, but you're seeing it now. You're seeing where the man is acting like the woman to be the woman, instead of just being the man to lead. You don't see that no more. You don't see these things. And that's what I'm saying. When you're married, there should be a set of discipline there. Sexual discipline, yeah, y'all got y'all fetishes. You talk about those at the table. You don't tell your other friends, all these other people, about what you got going on with your wife, because 9 out of 10, you might have a 10 of a wife. And you got this dude that's trying to break y'all up the best way he can. That's jealousy, bro. Jealousy. People don't see that. Don't tell your business. You tell it with your woman. Y'all, it's both of y'all to sit down at the table. because you gotta go home to that woman every night and look her directly in her face. Same as with the dude. It's vice versa. She might have to come home and look at you in your face and ask you what's going on. How was your day? You might be thinking about her friend got a nice booty, got a nice this. She drives a nice Mercedes, but that lady could be broken. She could be jealous of what you got. Because women are competitive, bro. They are competitive. They are competing against each other every day. Every day. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you this.
So now, Dean, when you look at the situation, man, in order to maintain a monogamous, committed relationship, then that means that both parties have to maintain sexual discipline. So that means, even though there are instances like Chop was saying, man, you turn a certain way and bam, there it is. Or you walking through the mall and you just coming there to get some shoes. You ain't want no problem. You ain't want no problem. So you coming there and you walk in the store to get the shoes and bam, she's standing over there by the Jordans you were trying to get. So you got to be able to pull yourself back and say, okay, listen, I ain't come for this. See, that's where the discipline comes in. The self-control. You discipline yourself. You say, hey, this is not what I came in here for. I made a commitment. I signed an agreement. I'm going to stick to that agreement. And so that's why it's so important, like Chop was saying. Chop said, you're looking for somebody that's a companion, somebody that's with you no matter what happens. They down for you. They're going to ride. Because it's going to be some situations where things going to be difficult. But if you like the 70% of women in our community who packing their stuff up and leaving, then it's a difficulty at times to maintain that kind of discipline if you don't have that kind of woman. If you don't have the kind of woman that gonna ride with you, then it's difficult to maintain that discipline. It's difficult to say, hey, I can't do this, man. This ain't what I'm here for. If the other party is not saying the same thing. I ain't giving you a pass on it, but I'm just saying it's difficult to look at that and say, okay, I got somebody at home that really deserves the best that I can give them. That ain't the case, man. Sometimes the temptation is just that much more powerful because you don't have that relationship with your partner that you should.
Yeah, but that's what it still goes back to what I was saying, though.
Mm-hmm.
It still goes back to that single parent household, because there's another parent that's teaching the kid the discipline of education. What's more important? Because I can chase butterflies all day. I don't know how many butterflies, because there's all different species of butterflies, bro. But if I'm chasing a butterfly and I touch one, I'm poisoned. I don't know that. I didn't know that butterfly was poison. I didn't know that. And until somebody told me that last minute, this butterfly is poison. So how would you know about that until the last minute? And we got to have some kind of logical standpoint behind that. But we don't see logic no more. No. We only see on everything on impulse. We only see things according to a pitch on the wall. And we run towards it. And yes, a lot of temptations out here. But sometimes temptation comes with a price. Mm-hmm. It comes with a tag. It lets you know pretty much, thank you for doing this. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, you got a kid that's out here that's running the streets.
Your baby,
you don't
know nothing about.
Your baby daddy. Yep.
You don't know nothing about, and then that come back and bite you in the ass. Oh, well, excuse me, that come back and bite you in the booty hole.
Right.
Because now you trying to figure out, how did this kid get here? Now, all these 18 years, you kind of find that kid ain't yours. Now, you done paid child support for that kid that's not yours. And there's cases like that because of temptation. Now, your marriage is in shambles because of what you did. And you didn't bother to tell your significant other about what you had caused, the damage. It could be the same thing with her, too. That damaged a lot of stuff, man. Like I said, the marriage situation, the women cause all this. It ain't the dude. The dude still want to be with the woman. No matter what the situation, but the woman can just up and just leave. She ain't got to do that because the system already is there to take care of her. The system's not there to take care of you. They're there to take away from you, not give you anything. But for her, they're going to do their best to comfort her, give her the pillow that she needs so she can sleep good at night while you struggling.
Okay. Well, look. In regards to that, Chop, tell me something. We were talking about this subject last week. And I think that the sisters kind of took it, they kind of took it hard, but I wouldn't let up on this notion of having an independent spirit. Now you got it's a lot of sisters in our community that will tell you quickly, I don't need no man.
Yeah.
I don't need none. But now
go ahead.
Tell me, Chop, how destructive do you think that is?
It's very destructive because the women that have said that they don't need nobody had that one dude that they were madly in love with, but they betrayed their trust. So for them to get to that point where they said they didn't need that man, they don't need no man, that lets me know that you've been hurt. And you was hurt because you gave your all. In a situation like this, like all I can tell you to do is develop a relationship with Jesus. Because a lot of times, even when they get hurt and that man hurt them, 10 years later, if that man wants to come back, he can still come back because they still in love with him. I don't care what they say, talking about that never did
right.
Never. It's that man. It was that certain man. Just like I heard a story one time, that you know how these girls out here doing what they doing, and they slide how they want to slide. It's always one man that can get them to come back down to earth and be the lady that they was once before. In a situation like that, there's nothing wrong with being an independent woman. You know, everybody should be independent. You should learn how to get it on your own, but at the same time, you have to let your guard down and let your significant other know what's really going on. Because a lot of times when you're independent, it's a lot of stuff you keep it to yourself. It's a lot of stuff you shielding from the world. It's a lot of stuff you holding in that don't nobody know what's going on or what's happening but you. And that could be destructive and that could be bad because all the stuff that you holding in eventually gonna self-destruct. And then by the time that happens, it's too late. Nobody, but the opportunity that you had to tell somebody, the opportunity you had to share with somebody, you let it go by a lot of times because of pride. Pride is something that is the biggest downfall, I say, to man and woman, because everybody doesn't want to feel like they are undervalued. Nobody wants to feel that. So I'm gonna be prideful at all times because that's the only way I feel like I'm safe. That's the only way I feel like, that's the only way I feel like I'm somebody to wear my pride. It ain't got to be like that all the time. Just like the situation we were talking about the week before last week, whereas my woman made, she made more money than me, or she was more, she was the breadwinner. I feel like this. As long as y'all got understanding, y'all can go, the possibilities are endless. As long as y'all got understanding, y'all can rule the world. I mean, look at Barack Obama. Nobody thought that we would have a black man and a black woman as a president of Earth. It still amazes me that we even got to that point because them folks don't want us in there. Them folks hate our guts. Them folks every day, man, them folks don't want us in there, bro. So I feel like if our community as a whole can get together, and it's not gonna happen overnight, but if we can get together and sit down and just talk in our household, because a lot of times, a lot of stuff that go on, and the reason that causes people to be independent is because communication is not there. People do not know how to talk. People don't know how to communicate. People don't know how to say, "Oh, something's bothering me." A lot of times they'll tell their friends what's bothering them before they tell their spouse.
That's
and
right.
It shouldn't be like it. But and that just, that come with how much love and trust you got in your spouse too. If you trust your spouse to be there for you and to comfort you and to be your confidant and to be your your better half. Then let them be there. But don't go out there like people do it for the gram, people do it for Facebook. There's a lot of people seeking attention from social media that they should be getting at home.
Right. And then after Chop dropped that on us, then he put himself on mute because he was through.
No, I was talking to my baby, but I was defending too.
I just playing with you, Chop. I just playing, but now look, Chop, and here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, just is powerful the way you put that, because if you're getting that kind of validation from your spouse, then that's even more reason to maintain your sexual discipline.
It is.
Because she putting just as much in it as you are.
Right.
Y'all putting in together, man.
Yeah, trust a powerful thing, man. Because people understand how powerful trust is. If you lose your trust in somebody, man, that's it. That's your word. That's everything. If you lose your trust in your spouse, say for instance, you caught your spouse texting somebody else that you know that she shouldn't be texting, or catch your spouse and he's somewhere he ain't supposed to be. Once, and then you find out that they were doing something they weren't supposed to be doing. That trust gone. It's hard to get trust back, man. Man, it's hard. I'm talking about. I know folks that been in situations for years, and they just did it just so they done got comfortable. But trust ain't there.
Right.
They say they doing it for the kids. That ain't here. That ain't here. I get it. You want to see, but you really not genuinely showing your kids what a household family look like, because y'all living a lie. Like I know a few marriages right now I cannot speak on, but they just in it for their kids. And my thing is, if you can't be happy in a relationship, but y'all want to be happy, then the kids ain't doing nothing. And then that's another thing. A woman feel like she can have a kid by a guy, and that's gonna make her stay. That's how a lot of men end up being baby daddies. So let me trap him. Let me feel, if I trap him, I'm gonna trap him to stay. Man, a lot of these guys don't care. They was like, okay, see, that ain't gonna keep me. I know a guy like this. I know plenty guys like, man, you thought they were gonna keep me? I know a guy that got about 4 kids by the girl. They still ain't together. I'm like,
damn.
I'm like, man, y'all married, man. I'm not married to her. She just won't leave me alone. I said, it sounds like you won't leave her alone either.
Right. Because it take two on the Chop.
It takes
Take two. Or look, or else you came up with something brand new I ain't aware of. One of the two.
That's back in biblical times when we talk about stuff like this.
Right.
That's the last time I heard it. Yeah.
And look, ain't nothing biblical about this situation.
No, sir. Not in 2021.
Bruh, it's out to my man. It's bad. It's bad, man. It's bad.
Yeah.
But now, so that's one of the things, man. I think that we, as a community, man, if we practice more sexual discipline, then I'm saying that I could be wrong, but I'm saying that the rate at which we have so many single mothers being head of household would change. Because if you're exercising sexual discipline, if you're saying, okay, I don't see a future with this lady, I'm not going to get her pregnant, or I'm not going to sleep with her because I don't see a future with her, then that means that you don't have to worry about whether or not you come in one night and she got what are the things? She got a pregnancy test that say pregnant. She holding it. She waiting on you at the door. Look at this. So you ain't got to worry about that. Cause and then if she got one and it's saying that, then you know it ain't you because you ain't been there. So either way, you protected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So look, my brother, we're gonna go into this last question, man. The last question for the night. Here it is. Here it is. So now, when you're talking about a husband and a father, what is the value of either of those roles to you? Anybody can jump in there when you want to now.
A husband is a partner to a woman that's looking for a lifelong experience, a
Okay.
lifelong bond. Uh, Good or bad, rich or poor, in sickness and health. I'm there with you, you there with me. If we can't talk about it, then we just deal with it. If we mad at each other, we don't go stay in the hotel. You sleep in the other room, I sleep in my room. We either we figure it out that night or we figure it out early in the morning. A father is, a father. He's not a daddy, he's not a baby dad. A father is a provider. A father is he's kind of like a superhero in the community. He's
You
kind of
better
like
tell it, Don. Tell it.
and I say that because a lot of kids that don't have a father, them seeing you interact with your child in the presence of them makes them feel like they look up to you as a father figure. I have children in my daughter's school that I don't know if their father in their life, but they run up and give me hugs and stuff when they see me, and I don't know their name from Jim John, Bacon, Susan Salad, but I guess just the relationship I have with my daughter and the events that I go to with my daughter, and like days I used to go to read books in class to the kids, like they just feel like they look at me like, man, this man this man kind of cool, man. He kind of like a father. My daughter kind of get upset because they be want to come give me hugs and stuff. She like, dang. I'm like, well, you ain't want to give me no hugs, so don't get back to
Yeah.
Yeah, but man,
Powerful
being a
job.
father, being a father, is just willing to sacrifice for the ultimate goal of being a person that showers a child with love and to carry on a legacy. And a lot of times you doing it because you didn't have that example to set it so for you. Like you didn't have that example and you wasn't there. But like you said, I was raised by a single parent household. And I'm thankful every day for lesson my mom taught me because she was a strong woman. She raised 8 of us. And we had baby daddies and guys that was in our life and said, well, that's my son. But man, I didn't really develop a relationship with my father until a year or two before he passed. And there was nothing that was all me because it was several times he tried to reach out to me. But I feel like this. If you say that you're a father, you want to be a father, you it's action behind saying it's action behind words. So until you show me, then we just talking. I mean, there ain't no action behind it. So I feel like, if you didn't show me you want to be a father, you want to be a part of my life, then just they will use it and then we'll cross their bridge and we cross their bridge. So, you know, it's a lot in life that I try to I'm still learning because I'm trying to be the best father I can be to my child. So, I'm still trying to find out what the father is. Even with all the stuff I do, I'm still trying to find out how to be a father. Even if I'm doing it and I'm the best father that she sees, I'm still trying to figure out what I can do better.
Powerful. Like I said, Chop, powerful. But now, here's the thing, my brother. Here's the thing. Your desire to want to be better, it what make you so good at your job, brother.
Yeah,
And what make you so good at it.
I appreciate it. Yeah,
And proof of that, Chop, is that you have, even though you didn't sign up for it, you have others that's looking at you as a father
right,
figure.
right.
Think of how much influence you can have on those children. Somebody
Yeah,
acting up, you say, hey, we don't do that now. Just
yeah,
that little bit of correction, man. You never know what that Chop. You could be responsible for the next scientist who cures cancer.
yeah.
I'm not.
You
I'm.
know,
Go
I hear
ahead,
you.
Chop.
I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why I still work with juvenile stuff, man, because I've been doing that for 11 years now. I think that's why I'm still there because I feel like, the little bit of I ain't gonna say a little bit of knowledge, the stuff I try to put into their life and impact them with, a lot. Some of them take heed to, and some of them don't. But I feel like if I could get through just a couple of them, I did my job.
Right.
And you know, every day I be walking there. I'm finna quit. I'm finna let this go. But some won't let me do it, man. So I be wanting to. I ain't gonna lie. Every day I walk in there, I be wanting to. But some won't let me do it, man.
Cause you need it, brother. You need it. They need to know. We need more brothers like you. Because if we did, man, you wouldn't see so many young brothers lost.
Right.
They lost, man. I talk to a lot of them on a regular basis, man, and that's the thing. Now, when you run into a young man and you talking to him, and the way that you speak, the tone of voice that you use in conversation is unsettling to him, and he say, "Well, man, why do you talk like that? Why you talk like that?" But it's simply the way that men interact.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's simple interaction between men. Now, you know, we get loud and we get boisterous, and in some situations that make young guys that no, man, this is the way we interact. This is the way we speak to each other. There ain't nothing going on. Ain't nothing finna happen, and it's that kind of thing is foreign to them, man. So they need us, brother. They need us to teach them. Because if we don't teach them, who gonna teach them?
Nobody.
Streets.
And you don't want the street to teach them.
Who shicing them on the radio?
And half them guys that's rapping about stuff they ain't living it anyway. We talking about the real life.
Exactly.
Now, Kevin,
yeah.
Go ahead and go and take us home, man. What is the value of either role? What's the value of being the husband? What's the value of being the father? Give it to me.
It's like $1 million, dog. That's easy. You won't see it as much. When you do see it, it's like a 12-pointer buck out in the cornfield. It's rare. But at the same time, we do need that in our community because it creates more leadership and a better structure. It keeps us, it keeps the balance going in that community because the reason the husband and the father is very important because he's still one and the same.
Mm-hmm.
He's still one and the same, no matter how where you put it in of the day, because he's there to balance that woman and make sure she's all right and make sure the kids are all right. So they're protected by you because by nature you are a protector, and the woman is a nurturer. That's the way how the system should work, and we need to start getting together and telling our women, "Hey, look." Only us. We have the power to change this. The system can tell them all day, every day, but if a lot of us men come out the woodwork and say, we're looking for this, and we need you to commit, they're going to follow. They're going to follow. If you serious about this, they're going to follow. They're going to do it, but at the same time, they still going to look at the white man. It's a safety net. But we can pull them away from that and say, look, we can offer this. We just need you to be on board. We need you here. We don't need you over there because over there is causing a problem. Over there is telling you that they don't need us because we need each other. We need that. By us, we just need to speak out about it. I said this like the second show. I said this. We need to stand up and say this is what we need from you. Because I heard last week what the lady was saying because she was damaged. And what I mean by damaged goods,
I ain't hear it, man.
But she was hurt because she'd been going through all these street dudes that's offer her false promises, false dreams, laid up with her, lied to her to get what they want. So now she sees that every man that come across is no good because now she missing the bus ride. The bus just keep passing her by because now all these good dudes passed her by. So the only thing she's used to is pointing out all the dudes are a problem. That's what I was saying last week. And an excuse that they came up with is God. God is the guard dog / safety net. And at the same time, God can point you to where you need to go and where you need to be. And and like I said, I see a whole lot of it. When I hear a person talk, when I heard her talk, it sounds like she's missing a lot of stuff. A lot of things in life, because sometimes we got to show our women the world. We got to show them what's out here.
Right.
We got to show them, hey, look, babe, look, this going in this society. This going on with this culture. Let's bring our kids so we can show our kids what's going on, because other cultures of people are studying on us.
Mm-hmm.
They see us when they walk down the street. Don't they give you that look? Don't they give you that look like, oh, well, we think they dangerous, because it's what the TV is pushing. It's what they see out in the open, because they think that we ain't got it together, or they listen to this music that's talking about shooting and killing another young teenager because the teenager said something that dissed that person. Now he got to go tell his friends, and now the girl gonna boost the stuff up to get the boy killed or get him thrown in jail. Because ain't no father leadership there, ain't no husband leadership there, ain't no mother leadership there. But the mother's there, but she also see it's a quick way to make money. If you dive into all these young rappers that got killed, there's a young man that just got killed, was 20 years old, over a girl. And I said to myself, we're going way beyond backwards, because fathers and husbands are important. They're one and the same. I feel like this day, I think that man would have been a successful rapper if his father was in this life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, look, I would like to thank both the gentlemen, my family. They came in tonight. They showed up and showed out. I thank y'all for the points that y'all made, and we gonna wrap up. Okay. As always, right, man. Y'all know I appreciate y'all for coming on, man. Y'all know that, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Well, look. Like I said, now don't be surprised if you get another message from me now.
I got you.
And listen. If I'm weighing you out, let me know, and then I'll find somebody for next week's show. Then I'll come back to you. We got the next. Okay. All right, now, kid folk. Look, y'all take it easy, man.
All right, now.
You too, brother.
All right, now. So now I hope that particular discussion was very informative. The perspective of those brothers is one that I think is very pertinent. But now, did you notice how they were able to fully articulate what they felt was the value of both the husband and the father? I like the point that Calvin made, that the husband and the father are one. They're synonymous. So it's just different roles that a man takes on in regards to his household. He has to be a husband. He has to be a father. But as I mentioned during our conversation, it's necessary for not just our community, but for every community on the face of the planet, that there is a structure that allows for a husband and a wife and children. Now, we would think that the husband would be the one that would fulfill the leadership role, and he would do it in a way that would benefit both his wife and his children. But now the current rate of single parent families that are headed by only the mother is something that is inexcusable. Inexcusable. Especially when it comes to the brothers, because we just talked about 52% in 2018, 52% of the population of Black men have never been married. They've never been married. But now I understand the hesitation. I understand the many difficulties that are placed in front of individuals who want to be married. The high rate of divorce, the probability that someone within this marriage is going to be unfaithful, the probability that you all are not going to be compatible, the probability that there's going to be something that happens in the future that's going to shatter the trust that you all have in each other. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. If you never tried, if you never put your best foot forward, you'll never know if it works for you. And I'm not saying be blind. I'm saying take precautions. Get to know this person. Make sure that you all are on the same page. Make sure that if you are a man, that this particular woman can get on your program. Can she cooperate with the things that you have planned for the both of you all in the future? If she can do that, then you're off to a very good start. So I think that, like I mentioned, the conversation is one that needed to be had. The brothers came on and they poured out their hearts to us. They told us exactly how they felt about each subject, and they made some serious points, but especially the point about sexual discipline. That's something that we really need to focus on. We need to focus on sexual discipline, because sexual discipline is an avenue where individuals who are not married don't have to be pushed into a marriage, or they don't have to be pushed into being parents. And then individuals that are married, they don't have to be pushed into divorce. If you exercise sexual discipline, then you have control over what happens as far as producing children. And I guarantee you, the rate of single parent families that are headed by or single mothers would drastically reduce if we as brothers were saying, I don't see a future with you, so I'm not going to have children with you. Simple as that. I know a lot of you are going to eat me up for this, but I can take it. That's what this show is about. We're going to talk about the difficult subjects, the hard subjects. And if you don't have the stomach for it, then maybe you shouldn't watch. But for those of you who enjoyed the conversation, we thank you for coming back. We thank you for your support. As always, please be easy.